Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Ranting Redhead. I am the host, Aiden, and today I want to talk about this phrase that's really been bothering me. I might talk about more phrases as I go, but I really want to talk about this one phrase that I keep hearing, that I heard all day yesterday, and it was driving me insane. Alright, here it is. So where I live, it's upstate New York, and yesterday into today, it was going to be snowing. So it started snowing right when I got to work, and I'm like, well, whatever, I'll just drive slow when I go home. I've done it many times. And the thing that I hate the most is when I have to hear people tell me, right when they're leaving the store, it's like, drive safe. No shit. Like, okay. Who doesn't know that if it's snowing to drive safely? Does anybody go driving as recklessly as possible in the snow? Sure, if you're an idiot, but then hey, you know what? If you get into an accident, maybe the world is better off. But that's beside the point. The point is, why is it I have to hear these stupid phrases like drive safe when I'm like, oh, do you think that now that you tell me this, I am going to drive safely? Oh man, I wish I would have thought of that one before. I would have just been beat bopping along like nothing was out of the ordinary. But no, when there's a couple inches of snow on the ground, I tend to drive safely. I don't need you to reinforce the idea that everybody is going to do already. Drive safe, fuck you. I don't like hearing that. It pisses me off. I'm sick of it. Like, do you think that, like, if I'm driving my car and I'm just going along, and I'm starting to drive recklessly, but I start to get out of control, in my head I'm gonna be like, remember what that person said? Remember, drive safely. And then I'll just be like, okay, I am now at peace, and I can really drive safely. I fucking know how to drive. I have a license for a reason. Do you think I stopped driving in the winter? No, you know how to do it. Listen, if it's the first time, the only people that have a right to do that is if you are a kid who is maybe their first year driving in the winter and your parents call you, hey, drive safely, because then that makes the parents feel not guilty about the fact that if you get in an accident, you could be like, you know, I tried to warn little Jimmy, but he just wouldn't listen to me. I don't know what to do anymore. That's the only way I can be like, okay, I'm not pissed at you if you say drive safely, is if you're a concerned parent, because then it's acceptable. But then, okay, here's the other thing. If I tell somebody as they're going home, drive safely, if I tell them that, and they get home safely, do they owe me? Because I gave them the greatest advice in the world. But, no. And then they'll say, oh, you know, I just know how to drive. So why do we fucking say it? That's my whole point. And here's the other thing. The only time I would want to say it is if I know somebody is going to drive horribly, and then they get in an accident. You know, nothing bad, just maybe lose an ear or something. I don't know. But I could be like, hey, I tried to warn him. Chose not to listen to me. And I could be like, yeah, I can predict the future. I'll be like a superhero because I told somebody, drive safely. And it just, yeah. So, if you see me out there and you tell me to drive safely, why don't you take your car and ram it up your ass? But remember, if you're going to do it, drive safely. That's all I ask. I mean, of course. Does it drive? Am I the only one who just gets bothered by that? It's like when people tell me, I mean, this is now a few weeks old, but I always hate when people say, like, oh, have a happy new year. And even don't get me started on people who say it. People who told me that yesterday, oh, don't forget to have a happy new year. And that's beside the point. But when people tell me have a happy new year couple days before the new year, it drives me nuts. And I'll tell you what, because it's something everybody freaking hears. I want somebody just to tell me just for once. It's like, hey, I hope you have a shit year and fuck you too. Because then I could be like, hey, someone's speaking their mind. All right, there is no way you go around just to everybody and say, oh, well, happy new year. It's just, nobody talks like that. Speak your mind. Like, I mean, look, I agree. If we all walked around speaking the God's honest truth, nobody would have any friends. But I'm willing to sacrifice that. Everybody should just be dead honest and stop saying stupid phrases like Happy New Year or drive safely because it's pissing me off. And that's another thing I'll say, another common phrase that can occur is whenever you walk into your work and you don't feel like it that day, you know what I'm saying? But you always have that one person who always comes up to you, and because they have no fucking life of their own, they just feel the need to say, "Well, hey there, Aiden, how are you today?" Who cares how I'm feeling? How is that going to change your life if I say, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm not so great, I'm fine, dandy, delightful, awful, dreadful, gloomy? Oh, and you'll get the same reaction. Oh, well, good to be working with you. And I'm just like, so why not just say hello and then move on with your day and leave me alone because your face is hideous. You know what I'm saying? But that's beside the point. I mean, I'm not here to make fun of anyone's appearance except for mine and one other person. But I'm not going to tell you who. But, no, I think it's pointless to ask somebody like, oh, hi there, Aiden, how are you today? Because it's not going to change your life. Only ask questions that are necessary for you to ask. You don't need to ask pointless questions because I hate wasting time. I hate those questions. Either leave me alone or ask me something that maybe I could think about for a second. It's like if someone comes up to me and goes, "Gee, Aiden, are you balding?" Yeah, no fucking shit. But if you ask me something else that's like, "Hey, Aiden, what's the philosophy of life? What is the meaning of life?" Then it's something I can think about. So only ask me questions that are going to get me to think, because I'm tired of these questions that are just made to kill time. I hate it. So next time you feel like telling me to drive safely or tell me happy fucking New Year or how are you today, Aiden, think twice, because in my mind you're going to appear like a big loser. It's like, I'll give you another example of something that really annoys me. This isn't a phrase, but you'll know what I'm talking about. So I walk in to my teacher's office this previous semester, and I said, "Good morning." And he goes, "Hi, Aiden, how are you?" Which, of course, was already starting to piss me off, but that's beside the point. But then he proceeds to raise his hand in a gesture, and I was like, "What are you trying to do, the Heil Hitler or something?" And he goes, "I'm trying to give you a high five." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know, it's a nice gesture." I'm like, "No, that is a rude gesture. I have no reason to ever come in contact with you." And he goes, "Okay, fist bump?" No! And he keeps going through, like, all these random hand motions! And I'm just like, what do you... Like, why is it important that I have to come in contact with your skin? Listen, I'm not a germaphobe, I'm just not an idiot, okay? Like, there is no reason I ever need to, fist bump or high five anybody. No, it's stupid. Just say, hello! It's the same gesture. Just do that! Or, you know what, you can give like a little salute to someone. Sure, why not? Because then you're not coming in contact with somebody. I don't know where your hand have been. You don't know where my hands have been. So really, that's stupid on your part, because if you initiate the high five, you are the gross one. I don't know what kind of sick, twisted games you're playing, but it's messed up, and I'm not falling for it. No, I believe that there is no reason why I ever need to come in contact with another person's skin that I am not attracted to. All right, I don't care in what capacity it is. It's no hug, no high five, no handshake, no fist bump, no pinky swear, nothing. I don't care. I am not coming in contact with your skin. It's like, not with a teacher, of course, but whenever like a close friend or something, like what you call your bros, they always be like, "Okay, bro, I'll see you later," and they try to give you a fist bump or they give you like a half hug or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that, because that's not a friendship. Because if you really think about it, okay, I'm gonna get analytical with you, and you're gonna listen or you're gonna tune out. I don't give a shit. But here's the thing. If someone says, "Okay, bro, I'll see you later," and they try to do that, I'm like, our friendship is not strong enough just to where I can say it verbally. No, I have to come in physical contact to reassure the delicacy of our friendship is really at stake here, if that's the case. If I can't just say, "I'll talk to you later," without having to give you a fist bump. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just because I feel close to you. You can't just say it. You have to, like, to me, that's even more awkward. Just be like, hey, I feel like we're really good friends. I feel close to you. Oh, that's nice. And say it's like, come here, let me give you a fist bump and then a hug. No, that's creepy. I'm not falling for that. So you need to look for options. If you're dealing with a friend like that, call your doctor, and maybe they can provide you with options. Maybe see a therapist if you want to, because the reality is what you're doing is gross, and I think it should be illegal. If I were president, that would be the first law that I enact. Is if you are friends, you should not be fist bumping. One day will outlaw fist bumping. All right, I'll give you an example of when a fist bump or physical contact can be appropriate. Because I won't be one-sided here. If your friend is going through something, I don't know, some horrible thing, blah blah blah, that you are getting sick of hearing about, happens, and then you can't really talk to them. So you try to talk to them, but like, let's say they're crying like a pussy, but but and you give them a hug, maybe then they'll shut up. All right. So maybe to get them to shut up and for you to move on with your life, you got to give someone a hug. I get it. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. But if someone's just depressed, you can and talk to them. Maybe that'll cheer them up, because anybody can give you a hug. Hell, I can hire a hooker to give me a hug, and maybe that'll cheer me up. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a true friend, words are more powerful. And that's the truth. I lie about everything, but not that. No, seriously. If you need physical contact with someone, just hire somebody. That's what they're there for. I mean, sure, you can talk to a friend, because granted it's free, but then you got to listen to all their bullshit life stories, and it gets boring after a while, doesn't it? Whereas if you hire somebody, it's like, hey, just get to the point, will you? And you know what? With that, I think I'll end the episode there. Thank you all so very much for listening. And I look forward to talking to you all later. Have a great day. Bye-bye!